our notes for 10.2 arc measures. This has to do with circumference, and so that's why we're incorporating it with this part of Chapter 11. Arc measures get their name. Arcs are part of the circumference, this outer edge of the circle. And we name our arcs by 2 points or 3 points. If it's a minor arc, then we name it by 2 points. And a minor arc is less than 180 degrees. A major arc and semicircles are named by 3 points on the circumference of the circle. And those are arcs that are greater than or equal to 180 degrees. All right, so your minor arcs and your major arcs. So first we're going to start off with minor. Right here, between these points, A and B, this would be considered a minor arc. It's less than half of the circle. So we're going to call this minor arc AB. And just like when we named lines, when we named angles, when we named segments and rays, we have some kind of marking for it. Well, this little doodaddy right here is called an arc mark, and it's like a little rainbow with just one line. Okay? And this is anything less than 180 degrees. All right. Now, a semicircle. A semicircle is when you can go halfway around a circle. All right, now I will say that in the book they may use 2 or 3 letters, but correctly you should use 3 points. But you can use 2 because basically when you name an arc, it doesn't matter which way you go. If you go halfway around from one point to another, you've gone the same amount of distance. You've gone half the circle. So if we were to extend this radius out here to point D, we would have a diameter, and thus cutting the circle into equal parts. So that's what we call a semicircle. And your semicircle is equal to 180 degrees. And we can call this one, we can call it BD and go this way around, arc BD, or we could call it arc BAD. Arc bad. And put your little arc mark on top. This is the correct way, but again, you may see it listed with just 2 letters. But the reason why that's okay is because BD goes this way or this way, and you're going to be okay. You're going to have the same arc measure. All right. Then you have what's called a major arc. A major arc has greater than 180 degrees. So if I were to start here at A, and I were to go all the way around to point D right here, that would be over half of the circle. So that's why we call it a major arc. And we would have to use 3 points. A, B, D. A, B, D. Now, why? If I were to call that arc AD, and I wanted to go this way to get more than half of the circle, how would I know to do that? If someone said, where's arc AD, I'd go from here to here, because it only had 2 letters. That's why you have to name major arcs with 3 letters, so that it goes in that particular direction. Okay? And do note that it is than 180 degrees. All right, now then, central angle. You have to know about your central angles. Central angles are formed at the center of the circle, the very center point, and they are formed by radii. 2 radii drawn. And so your central angle would be this part right here. And know that central angle is a portion of all 360 degrees that there are. All circles have a total of 360 degrees based around its center. And that's what we're going to be using these for. All right, now measuring arcs. we're not finding the actual length of this part of the circumference. What we're doing is we're finding an arc measure, which is based on the degree of the central angle. So the measure of an arc is equal to the measure of the central angle that intersects it. So right here, if you've got this central angle, angle ACB, and it is 60 degrees, and it says to find the measure of minor arc AB. Well, this is equal to 60 degrees. So the measure of arc AB, M is for measure, just like when we have the M there in front of an angle when we're naming the degree of an angle. The measure of arc AB is equal to 60 degrees because that's the central angle that intersects it. Okay? Over here, it says find the measure of major arc ADB. Well, I start with the letter A, I go around to D, and then to B. Go around in the order that it is listed. Okay, so that's all of the circle except this 60 degrees here. And we know that there's 360 degrees total in a circle. So if I already have 60 degrees accounted for right here, then arc ADB is 360 minus 60, which is 300 degrees. So the measure of major arc ADB is equal to 300 degrees. All right. Sorry about the mouse being in the way. Just noticed that. All right, now, the arc adjacent postulate. This is exactly the same as when we did adjacent segments, when we did adjacent angles. The postulate is the very same for arcs. This says the measure of arc ABC, I'm going to put an arc mark on top, is equal to the measure of arc AB plus the measure of arc BC. So right here is arc AB. Here is arc BC. So that's why we get arc ABC is equal to the sum of both of those. Alright, so now if the measure of arc AB is 45 degrees, that means the central angle is 45 degrees. And the measure of arc BC is 152. Right here we've got 152 degrees. Find the measure of arc ABC. So all we're going to do is plug these numbers in place of those arcs and then add them together. It's that simple. So the measure of arc ABC is equal to 45 plus 152 degrees. So the measure of arc ABC is equal to 197 degrees. Ta-da! That is it. Thank you.